welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with the penultimate episode of Call of Cthulhu today, which I'm super excited about. Before we dive into that, just a few things. Please check out the links coming up in chat now. That includes a link to the Discord. We have a channel just for this game, and we'd love to hear what you think about it over there. If you've missed out on anything, you can also head over to YouTube, and all of our games are put in playlists so that you can catch up or just binge watch if you so fancy it. Also, Twitter, the new season is fast approaching. We have spaces in games. I think we have 5 D&D viewer games next season, something like that. I know I'm running one of them. That's all I know. Yes, I'm coming back to viewer games. Otherwise, please drop Scrat a DM on Twitter and we will get you on the list. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we couldn't do this without. First of all, in the form of Hero Forge. I don't think my camera's going to pick it up, but look how snazzy it is. Their little poster child one with the little fox. It's not blurring. Oh my gosh, my photographer senses are angry. But otherwise, they have over 5,000% funded. They've just unlocked mounts. And I think in the next few tiers, you can unlock the little familiars like the fox and stuff like that as they are coming to it. Also, the wonderful Mage Hand Press, which you can see played on Mage Hand Mondays. They're currently in the whole pirate world of that, but they also do D&D in space with dark matter, so please go check them out. And last but certainly not least, we have the Deck of Many, with the Deck of Many Things and the Moving Magic spell cards, which you can donate to use them for something to happen, but Call of Cthulhu style in this game, obviously. The spooks. You can donate for the spooks. Also, they created Humblewood, which is the opposite of this game and is incredibly wholesome, and is also one of the viewer games next season. So please check that out. Otherwise, we're going to head round and we're going to say hello to everybody. First of all, I am going to say Fakai couldn't be with us today, but please go and check them out. They're a wonderful human being. I know Scrap will drop their links in the chat as well. Otherwise, we're going to start and say hello to the very lovely Lauren. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I'm always prepared to go first. I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. And I'm playing Meg Hawks, who is a psychiatrist and a psychic. The end. Nailed it.
Absolutely hoping to have a library card at the end of this game.
If only.
If only. Yeah. Then we're going to hop over and say hello to the lovely Kelly. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly Lane. A Kelly in chat. A Kelly Lane on Twitter. I do stuff and things, preferably when I'm more awake than I am right now. I play Fran, the librarian, head in the clouds, a little bit lost at all times, wife of Dewey Decimal.
Wonderful, thank you. And speaking of Dewey Decimal, and who always has the most riveting intros, hello, Sammy.
Hi, I'm Sammy. I'm Smallish Sam. I play Dewey.
It's the smile at the end. Wonderful, thank you. So, last week, towards the end of the session, the party split. And Dewey and Fran ended up heading towards the hardware store with Jason. And I'm pretty sure they bought the entire hardware store, or Jason had to anyway, as Fran was packing the bags and Dewey was basically doing as he's told. However, as Dewey was paying, the little old lady behind the counter looked straight at them, smile on her face, and just started saying the same sentence over and over again. It's happening again. It's happening again. Meanwhile, back up the huge apartment block, Meg had just about finished her conversation with this, I guess, friend, or at least an acquaintance from the past who hadn't aged a day. And I'm sorry, Sammy, you've just made me laugh. You've thrown your drink down yourself. And as Meg has left the apartment, she's lit up a cigarette and just taken a short moment to effectively get a breather. And that is where we will start from. And Meg, you're at the top floor. You can definitely hear George sort of moving around in his apartment. You think you can hear him like moving the saucepans and things about. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet. You can see a few more doors on this level, as you did on the way up for other apartments, but it's actually pretty quiet. You do hear footsteps, but it's not really any voices here. As you've lit up the cigarette, the embers sort of glow at the end, and the smoke drifts through the space. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I think that Meg... I think she literally goes downstairs, the bottom of the apartments, and I think takes the first breather they've had this whole time since yesterday evening.
You hear all the locks on George's door go across, and as you start to walk down the stairs, you can see, it's one of those ones where you can see all the way down to the bottom. You can see the security guard. He seems to be out of his booth making coffee. And you start to walk down. You can hear your own footsteps as you go, and it's like a concrete footway. It's pretty standard. And as you're walking down, you get further and further down. You're about 5 or 6 floors down, and you turn onto the main one before you head down the next set of steps. And at the top of the next set of steps is a box. A music box. And it starts to open on its own. And the music starts to play. And as it does, you sort of pause for a moment, and it's a strange sort of... You can hear another sound behind it. Footsteps. Like bare feet walking on concrete. And it seems to be coming from below you.
She kind of tilts her head and cocks an eyebrow at it. And then I think she's gonna kick it down the stairs.
I need soccer kick Wolf.
Kick it.
You sort of look to it and you swing your foot and you kick it, and you hear that almost break in the music as it crashes and crunches, and you can see the like the wood split, and a big sort of chunk of it comes off to the side. The key falls out, and you watch it. You can lean over the railings and watch it roll down the stairs, and it goes quite far, maybe 2 floors down, as it's on like a loop where everything sort of rocks down, and the lid snaps off, and you see it come to a halt. As it does, you see a hand touch the railing, and this hand is like it's very grey, it's very white, and you see 2 bare feet take the step on the concrete.
Okay, so she's got her bag, and I swear she like opens it. She's barely like, there's been almost no expression on her face this whole time except for like a brief flash when she finally let the kick out. But she reaches in her bag and she pulls out a scalpel and grips it in her hand.
Okay.
Why she has a scalpel?
Did she steal it from Jane?
Yes. I went through Jane's bag. Like, I was like, well, she might have a syringe on her, but I decided I would like a scalpel.
Yep, you can definitely hold this scalpel. It's sort of very firmly in your hand, and you see this other hand a few levels below you, and almost with each beat of this music from the music box, the foot takes another step and another step up towards you. It's nowhere near you yet, but you can see this hand sort of grip, and it's like it's half pulling itself up. It's not like it's walking confidently up there, and it's walking slowly. You can see these sort of it's almost like old hands with long nails as they start to stride up, and these nails are painted a deep red.
Okay. Is there any other way out of here, or is it just the stairs down?
You know that the stairs keep going up. You can probably, there is a roof to this, and you can maybe get across another building, or there's going to be like a fire escape. It's very much built like the old ones that you used to climb as a kid.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's go up.
As you sort of take a step back to move, the hands and the feet stop. And the music continues to play for a moment. And that noise you heard down in the underground when you were younger, that crackly voice, which I won't do because Lauren might leave her chair.
You're talking about, I'm fine.
Okay. And it's more like you can hear it, as if you can feel it right next to your ear, that the crackle as it comes up, and it's like it's right next to your ear, and the music stops dead, and that crackling, that as the voice gets louder and louder, and the feet start to run up the stairs. As they run towards you, you can hear them slapping against the concrete.
Fine, I'll run. I'll run. I'm ready though. What's my fighting brawl? Oh yes.
I was gonna say, I think Meg's pretty good.
It's rather good.
And you start to sprint up these stairs, and you can hear the feet, and the croaking gets louder and louder. You hear the nails on like the metal banisters as it goes up, and there's a brief moment. If you stop and look back, you see a head look up directly at you, and it looks almost bluish grey in color, as if someone hasn't had oxygen for a few minutes, a bit too long. But this person has very wide sunken in eyes, and they snap their neck in a sort of awkward manner, a way a neck shouldn't turn, towards you before they start to continue running again.
Good.
Okay. Where are you headed? Are you headed to the roof?
Yeah.
Or are you headed back to an apartment?
No, a roof. The roof.
Okay. You can sprint, and you can hear this thing almost like lolling after you. It's not like someone is running very effectively. You can almost hear like one foot is heavier than the other. The hands are slapping it as they're starting to crawl almost up these stairs as they come towards you. You can sprint towards the steps. You are heading up, higher up onto the roof of the building, and you see this thing getting closer, and you notice by this point it's almost half using the banister, half using its hands on the floor to push itself up towards you. And you can see the door in front of you. It is heavy. You're not sure if it's locked, but it's not opening, and this thing is coming at you. What would you like to do?
What does this top floor look like?
This top floor, you're not on the roof yet. This is almost like a big empty space. You can see some bins up here that looks just they're all empty, but it looks
Uh-huh.
like maybe they're brought down. You can see a mop and a bucket. It looks like a maintenance where people don't normally come up here, so they've shoved stuff out of the way. But it's almost like a square cement platform, and then a big heavy door to the roof that says fire exit on the side.
Okay. I want to kind of duck behind one of the bins close to the entrance to this floor, so that hopefully with its momentum it'll go past me and I can either get down ahead of it or, shank it from behind.
Okay, could you roll me a stealth, please?
Yes, because I'm good at a lot of things. I'll use an advantage though.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I rolled the wrong one. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Alice, I'll use a point of luck to make that an extreme success.
You may. Describe how you're hiding behind these bins as you can hear this thing almost galloping up the stairs.
Yeah, I think she will kind of seeing not being able to get the door open and looking around with no exit. I think she just slips her shoes off. Like, she takes time, even though it's probably only a few seconds. She slips her clackety heels off and like slowly walks backwards and just kind of presses herself up against the wall, like where this thing would like run past her, and just kind of slides down, but like prepped on her legs, ready to like kind of shoot up if she needs to.
Okay, so you're sort of squatting so that you can jump up very, very quickly. Are you taking your shoes with you, or are you leaving them where they are?
I take them with me.
They're expensive shoes. And you sort of do it almost silently as you move. You manage, it's almost like a perfect Meg shape sort of behind the bins as you sort of manage to settle yourself down, and there's a gap about this big between the bins, so you can see the fire exit to the door, and you can see this thing that starts to come up it, and it sort of moves awkwardly, and as it hits the top step, you notice it looks confused as it moves around.
Does it look familiar at all, or?
No, this doesn't look particularly familiar. If anything, it's very plain. It's just the most probably standout things about it are these red sort of long nails, which are too long for like typing. They're too long for anything. They're almost like claws, but they're painted red. And it sort of looks around. You see it looks directly at you, but doesn't see you. As it moves and looks around the bins, it looks towards the fire exit. And it sort of sits back on its haunches and starts to sniff the air. It moves its head very, very slowly and starts to click its tongue. And it moves very, very close to the bins and then up to the door. And then you see it put its hand on the door handle of the fire exit, almost to help it stand up. And you watch it shift. And it starts to stands very upright. And the face changes, the arms change. And it turns into you, Meg. Could you please roll a sanity check, please? Okay. You look at this thing, and you can tell it's not you, but you get this sort of dread of it looks too similar. But it's almost an uncanny valley. There's something you can see that she's sort of like flicks her head to one side, almost like it has a tick, like it's trying to get comfortable in this body. The nails don't disappear. And they stay where they are.
Okay. Alice.
Yes.
I want to sneak up behind it and stab it.
Okay.
So stupid.
So you're going to need to roll a stealth and a brawn for me. me.
Okay. I'll use an advantage on the stealth.
Yes.
Oh,
No! You're like a ninja.
Listen, she has a lot of education and intelligence. I got all the skill points. Okay, so I sneak up behind it. I'll use the advantage on the fighting since it's fine.
Okay, but you managed to sneak right up behind this thing so much so you are inches away from it, and you can smell your own perfume on this thing.
That's rude! Okay, here we go. Yeah, see, that's why.
Tell me what happens. Describe the how you sneak up on this thing and you attack it.
God. Okay. So it's a little taller than her. Wait, is it wearing shoes or is it barefoot like she is right now?
It's barefoot.
Oh shit. I hate it. So I think she kind of stands right behind it, and like the thing that makes it so weird is that like her head cocks one way, but this thing, you know, it's like when you look in a mirror, its head is cocked the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So whichever way that is, she takes the scalpel and she just jabs it right into the neck.
You thrust this in, and blood doesn't splurt out. Nothing like that happens, but you feel it sink in. If anything, there's a moment of recognition as this black sort of ooze starts to sort of erupt from the neck, from the shoulder. That same sort of viscous liquid from down in the underground, the one that chased you before.
I run.
Yeah. You are you leaving you taking the scalpel out, or are you
my scalpel?
Okay. You I'm going to get you to roll a straight up dexterity check just to run down the stairs, seeing how as this thing starts collapsing onto the floor and it's holding its neck and you can see it turning back and its head snaps backwards overhead.
Oh, I hate it.
To look at you.
Hard success.
Okay. You are sprinting down these stairs and you are running fast. However, you can see this thing moving and shifting. It's not moving as fast as the more this sort of black liquid starts leaking out of it, but it is disjointed and scurrying down these stairs after you. And you can reach the lobby. You see the security guard there with going, "You all right, love?" As he sort of sips this coffee, and you hear that scurrying down the steps. Like, everything all right?
It's saying nothing. It is just running.
And as you run, you hear a crash behind you as this sort of crumpled, twisted body of this thing just drops down the last few flights and lands at the center, right next to the security guard, who goes, "Well, wherever you're going, I hope you get there safe." As you sprint out of the door. And we're gonna hop over to Fran and Dewey. Dewey, you're faced with this little old lady who's smiling at you with the biggest grin on her face, saying, "It's happening again. It's happening again. It's happening again."
Okay, thank you, bye. Friend, did you hear that? Jason, did you hear that?
I feel like I didn't hear it because my head was full of Tetris.
Could you both roll me a spot hidden check, please?
No.
That I can do. I'm gonna use an advantage.
Yeah, I'll use an advantage as well. I'll let you roll first, though.
It's the purple one, right?
No, it's the green one.
No, it's the green one.
No, it's the green one.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain is not. That was a good use of advantage.
Yeah.
Nice.
And first of all, you see it first, Fran. As you turn around and see Jason by the door looking out, he looks like he's backing up towards you. And Dewey, you look around and there's other customers in the shop. And they all stand with their heads tilted to the side with a big smile on their face. One is in the doorway, three seem to be spaced out around the shop. And there's sort of a moment where, Fran, you look up, and those shelves you've been pulling off of, there's a face crouched down at your eye level, smiling back, and all in unison, it's happening again. It's happening again.
Can I look around for the big scary dude?
Which big scary?
The like 10-foot tall thing.
You can't see that anywhere.
We gotta go. Nope, we're going. I'm sorry, friend. We're going.
Well, then I gesture to Dewey to take a backpack because I can't carry them all.
I'm already, yeah.
Jason sort of like reaches out and grabs some of the bags, and you see he's not taking his eye off the one in the door as he's sort of like loading these up. We need to get back to Meg.
Yeah.
Is the one in the door like blocking the door?
Blocking the door.
I'm going to try to run at it and tackle it.
Roll a brawn for me, please.
Oh, I don't know how to do this.
Fighting brawl is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see it. This is why I wear glasses. Thank you. I would like to use an advantage, please.
You may.
Oh no. Wait, hold on.
Oh no.
Hold on. Nope, I don't think I have enough. 25, 35, 45. 35, 45, 55.
Do you want to spend all that luck?
Luck.
I'm just giving you a heads up.
Hold on to it for when you use it to avoid certain death.
Yeah.
Nah. No, I won't. I think I barely have enough now. I don't want to do that.
How do you initially run towards this thing?
I think like it's gonna go. Well, you see, Dewey is fairly athletic, so he's like going to go with like all the confidence in the world, and then realize how scared he is.
You sprint towards this person. He looks like a man that's just walked off the street. And you crash into him and don't realize quite how solid he stands. And his head tilts, and you can hear almost like a creak as it tilts down and looks at you. And it grabs you. It wraps its arms around you. And you feel like the ground beneath you turns to quicksand. And Fran, you see Dewey start to sink into the ground as almost like hot tar starts to open up, and this person and Dewey starts to sink.
Oh no.
No,
Fran is gonna.
Yourself.
No, Fran is gonna go after this guy.
Life powers activated.
and try and rip him off of Dewey.
Okay. I need you to roll a brawn, please.
I will use an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Wait,
and
how do you have better fighting than I do?
Because you put the skill
She's
points in it.
super wife.
because I spend all day lugging library books around, do you have any idea what it takes to shove those carts through the library 8 hours a day? I am going to use 20 points of luck for that last one, because I've got plenty.
Okay. Please. And as this happens, how are you getting to grab hold of Dewey, or are you trying to get
I'm grabbing the guy and like pulling him off of Dewey.
Okay. So you sprint forwards and
I would like to throw him into, like, I imagine in the hardware stores they have those like the like shelving units or like temporary. Yeah, I want to throw him into the shelf.
You sort of run through, and Dewey, you feel these arms loosen around you as this person almost ragdolls, and Fran just throws them into one of these freestanding shelves, which just immediately crashes down onto one of the others. You can still hear them saying, "It's happening again," over and over, even as you throw them. And Jason, you can see him sort of look down at his sister with like this rug. He goes, "Bloody hell, Fran," as he sort of looks over at you, but then starts running towards both of you. And Dewey, where you were held, as you sort of been pulled, this man was ripped away from you. You see 2 burn marking prints of these hands on your jacket.
I loved this jacket. I'm gonna take off my jacket because I don't like this. I'm gonna throw it at them and run out.
Okay.
And Fran's gonna run out the door following and just be like, "I did not like him."
Jason,
was not very nice.
screaming at both of you to run, and he's just like, "When did you get so that?" Like as he sort of gestures with his biceps as he starts running.
Library books.
And there's a moment where you all start sprinting. Where are you sprinting to?
Back
away.
I was gonna try to go in the general direction of where Meg is at, or where Meg last was.
Okay. Head back towards the block of flats then.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you both roll a spot hidden check for me, please?
No.
Fran is like, "I bench books, but I hate cardio."
I'm gonna use an advantage.
Okay.
So much better.
Not a good use of advantage.
You are running through the streets, and you can see the block of flats. You've got Jason right behind you, and you're all sprinting through when you notice every person in the street has stood still, and they're all looking up at the sky, and there's a small child walking towards you, and it's Jane. As Jane walks towards you in that little dress she wore that day, the little frilly socks, the smart shoes, you can see where they've been scuffed from running in the underground.
That was the question. I was going to ask if the dress was dirty.
It does. It looks slightly sooty. It looks like it's been like dragged through some dirt or leant against the wrong wall. It's not like disheveled, but you can see it's like when the Sunday best basically has been ruined.
I'm gonna turn to both Fran and Jason and be like, "See, this is the type of stuff that was happening earlier, and you guys thought I was crazy, but I'm not."
Jason just stares as this young Jane walks forward. She looks confused. She looks lost.
I'm gonna bend down to her.
She sort of takes a step back from you, but she's like, you're the only people moving, so she doesn't run.
But she seems to be acknowledging us existing.
Yeah, she can definitely see you. You can see how wide her eyes are.
What?
Hello.
Hi. Are you okay? Are you lost? What's going on?
And she looks around. I don't understand. What is all of this? I'm looking for my mum.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not good. I don't know. Fran, help me out.
Why Dewey never has children?
Yeah.
I feel like Fran is like just as useless. She's like, I don't know where your mom is right now, but if you wanted to, you could take my hand and come with us. Small child version of
My
Jane.
name's Jane.
Bartok, go to bed.
It's nice to meet you, Jane. My name is Fran.
She holds a hand out for you to shake it.
Shakes.
And you feel this tiny little hand shake. I don't know where I am. It got dark.
How long have you been out here?
I don't know, not very long. You see, I was down in the underground. I was with my friends.
And you got separated from them?
And she nods.
Well, I promise that we can get you back to them, but it might take a little while.
Do you know them?
You could say that.
How can I trust you? Mummy says never to talk to strangers, but at the same time, and she sort of looks around, all of these people that just have their necks craned back, looking up at the sky.
She goes, well, your mom sounds like a very smart woman. But we're not strangers. We're family of your friends. Cousins or something. Distant family, but your friends are Fran and Dewey and Meg, right?
Her eyes went, yes, no, that's them.
Yeah, see, we know who they are, so we can help you get back to them.
Okay, and she holds out her hand to you in particular, Fran.
And Fran takes her hand.
And she holds it, and she sort of pulls it. You feel that she's trembling a little bit. And you see her darting around, looking at all of these people that just stand like statues around you.
No, we're gonna run away from these scary people now, okay?
She just nods.
And we're gonna keep walking, and Fran is just gonna like look towards Dewey and Jason and just...
It's like, just keep going. We need to find Meg.
Hey, Jane, do you mind? We're gonna kind of walk a little bit faster. Do you mind if I pick you up and carry you so that you don't get hurt?
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if it helps.
Yeah.
Piggyback.
Yeah, let's piggyback. I love a good piggyback. I'll squat down.
And she sort of just like climbs on. And you feel like that, when kids wrap too tightly around your neck, like, because it's just awkward as they're sort of slipping, but you can carry her.
Yeah, and I'll definitely put my hands behind to kind of support. And I will start slowly picking up the pace until I eventually get into a full-blown run.
Okay. You can all run towards the block of flats. Meg, you're stood outside the block of flats. You've sort of slammed the doors closed. You're out. There's nothing behind you. If anything, when you look back, you can see this crumpled body on the floor, but this security guard has stood there with a steaming hot mug of coffee and is like, if anything, just looking at you slightly oddly. And you can see rounding the corner Jason, Fran, Dewey, and what looks like a young child on the back of Dewey's back.
Okay, I'll run toward them.
And you can, as you sort of round the corner towards them, that's when you see the street full of these people. Heads back.
I halt.
And there's about 40 to 50 people here, all looking up at the sky.
Hi. You remember Jane, right? I mean, this is our friend Jane.
We're family of her friends, Fran and Dewey and Meg.
The little girl just waves at you, doesn't really, she looks confused, when she said you know her, you sort of, yeah. Thank you, Michael Wing, for an advantage to Kelly.
Meg, for I think the first time, looks like more than when we were all drinking, like disheveled. Like her face is flushed, her hair is like frizzy and everywhere.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just had to stab something that looked like me. It's fine.
A what? Like Jason sort of stops. You can see he looks like he's about to go camping. Like he's covered in all of this stuff. And he's like,
Now this is a look I can get behind for you, Jason.
what? Why?
It's manly. Let's run.
More running. And he sort of like heaves the rucksack up a bit higher.
Jason's like in shape. He's like
Shape.
Are you asking or are you telling Alice? Like,
No, Lauren's telling me. Lauren's telling me. Where are you running to? Like Jason.
That's a great question that Fran was about to ask.
Yeah, Jason, where are we going? Where are we?
The underground.
yeah, I was gonna say it might be crazy, but should we go to the underground?
That's why we bought all this shit.
I actually think we might be able to like have a seance outside of the underground, but
Okay, then are we running from the creepy people to a graveyard or something? Because that doesn't seem like a great idea either.
let's just leave this street.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm assuming we're saying all this as we're running. So, you know, it's like
This kid on your back is like, who are these people? So you start running. Where are you headed? Where was it decided?
I'm
Like
gonna say
above the underground, or at least, or like you going to the vicinity, not going down yet, but like you are.
We should go to Jane Crowley's house. She lives nearby, right?
Oh.
And we know
But-
she's not there.
Like her current house or like her
Her family house.
do her parents still live there?
Wait. Didn't she didn't disappear after Dad died. She disappeared before he died, right? Then I think we have to take her back to the underground.
Let's go.
That
To
was
put her-
what I suggested. Because
All
we
right,
have to
that's-
put her back where we found her. Because we know that Jane makes it to the now.
Well, that may not be so certain. Yeah, let's go to the underground. Jason, give me my boots. Hope you picked out a good color.
Do we pick him? And sort of pulls out this pair what look like heavy brown hiking boots type.
I did not pick these out. I was looking for a bunch of other stuff. Like a hammer.
I'm gonna
And he holds
slip-
out this pair of boots and he's like,
Mhm.
here you go.
Yeah, she slips them on.
They look good.
Thanks.
It matches the look as he tries to almost be funny, but it's really not working.
All right,
We should
Yeah.
keep going.
let's leave.
And you start heading back towards the high street where the old underground is. And it's just a few streets down. As you know, you're on the block of flats that sort of knocked you out when you were a child, Meg. And you round it and you see those steps. And it's strange. It's like as you look at them, as all of you stare at it, it's like the view of everything bends and ripples. And you can hear this bizarre breathing as if it's coming from down those steps beneath the underground. Again, everyone is stood still, looking up. However, this time you do notice they all seem to be whispering something.
Can I pause and look where they're looking up?
I was
Like,
going
are
to
they
ask the
looking-
same thing.
Are they looking like directly up, all of them, or are they looking like all in the same direction up? Can I follow line of sight?
Yeah, they all seem to be looking just directly up, as if their heads have snapped back as they look up. And as you look up at the sky, it's almost like it's moving, but like how a blanket moves when something moves underneath it. There's no clouds, but
What are
there's
they
a
whispering?
bizarre ripple. You can make a listen check for me if you want.
Okay. Success.
Okay. You can get close to them, not like reaching distance, but you can
Yeah.
get close enough, and you can just hear them whispering over and over again. The sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
What the
And young Jane sort of wriggles out of your grasp, Dewey, and sort of looks around. Where are we? This place doesn't look right. I recognize the steps, but it looks wrong.
It
We're at
probably
the
just looks
underground.
funny because it's dark outside.
Sort of looks around. Well, I should probably go find my friends. Thank you, because I didn't know where I was.
You're welcome. I'm glad that we got you back. Do you want us to go down there with you?
It's up to you. But I've got to go find my friends. We're looking for their dog.
Right.
And you see her straighten herself up as Jane does. You've noticed she even does it now as an adult. She brushes down each out her sleeves. Like, starts to walk towards the underground.
Can you repeat what you said right before you said she starts to walk towards the underground?
She straightens herself up, like pulls her sleeves down and everything. You've noticed she does that now as well. It's almost like a habit.
And I think Fran would turn to Meg and be like, well, we got supplies. Did you want to do the seance or do you want to go now?
Alice,
All right.
could I make an, I don't know if this would be a no roll or an idea roll,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like,
I'm loving the arm gestures that go
yeah.
It's
Yes,
called
Lauren.
stress. Releasing the stress.
I feel like we don't know what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
in a good Cthulhu-y way.
Mm.
And I'm wondering if it might be a bad idea to go back down there, like more than normal bad. Like doing exactly whatever it is wants bad.
Okay. So I will let you roll your clairvoyance
Okay,
thing,
cool.
and I will tell you some things from that.
All right.
It's just on how much I'll tell you.
Yeah. Regular
Okay.
success.
You watch Jane disappear down those steps into the underground, and for a moment you see it almost like the image bends, like this strange sort of warp in the image. And you can feel that trickle of blood start to run down your nose as you feel a sense of dread in particular in that direction. your eyes sort of not roll back into your head, but they flutter, and the rest of you will see this as Meg sort of shudders a little bit, and you see those white tiles again. You see, in fact, you can smell sort of like damp rot. And there's a moment where you blink a few times, and you see an image of your dad carrying you when you first got hit by the debris, running and screaming to the others to get into the underground. And you see him for a moment look back, and he looks confused.
Don't go down that.
And he looks...
Try to yell or something.
He looks directly at you as if he can see you, and shakes his head and runs. But then, up on the top of the building, where he first sat, you see a lamp light, and the sky starts to go dark. You get the feeling that if you went down there now, you could end up where Jane was.
She just starts walking without explaining herself.
Which way are you walking? Down to the steps?
Yep.
Okay. Jason's like, what?
Oh, I followed. And did we see the blood trickle out of her nose?
Yes, definitely.
I'm gonna take my other handkerchief and hand it to her. I got five pockets. So,
yeah.
like, here, you know.
Yeah, yes.
They've all got really sketchily embroidered Dewey's initials on the side. That looks like it's by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Double D's.
Fran ends up with a lot of hobbies.
I think she takes a handkerchief, and she's usually pretty neat about it, but it's just like she kind of like smears it, so there's still like stain on her face, and keeps going.
Okay.
I'll just follow her.
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Here you go.
I was like, I'm gonna look at Jason and Dewey before they and be like, I said we'd help. This was why we bought the stuff.
And Jason's there, like I say, he's almost like clanging when he walks because he's got so many things like strapped to him. But he looks, he's like, oh, can we just, oh God. And he starts walking after Dewey and Meg, and he looks back at you, Fran. He's like, we need to stay together. Okay? At least just stick with someone. Stick with Dewey, stick with me, stick with Meg, just someone.
I think you should stick with Meg. Buddy system.
Buddy system. Right, have you got a torch? And he starts like taking stuff off the, just in case, I think we should all have torches now.
Yeah, and she'll pull one out that she had put in a conveniently easy to reach location because Fran thinks of these kinds of things while playing Tetris, backpack Tetris. She hands one, and when they catch up to Meg, she will give Meg one as well, along with an extra bag of batteries.
You can all head down the steps. And it's strange, it's almost as you head down them, you feel like you walk through this, almost like the air gets thicker, like it's stuffier. It's not hot, it's just weirdly thicker as you step down these steps. And you can see a new fresh set of paint as you step on the platform. You see that big Mind the Gap, the yellow line painted along the side. There's no train in the station, but there are people there with suitcases and briefcases, still looking up. As much as they're looking up at the ceiling, they still look up in the exact same way everyone else does. And you see young Jane at the other end, just stood as if she's waiting, and she smiles at you. She doesn't do much else. In fact, she probably turns away.
Meg flicks on her torch.
Jason flicks on his. Is that right? Okay. We all stick together, and if we get separated at any point, we go in twos.
What was our?
I got
need a,
rope.
like a word.
We could tie ourselves together.
You want to tie ourselves together? What if we have to make a quick getaway?
Or we could just hold hands.
Then cut the rope. Okay, we could just hold hands. Fine.
Okay. So, are we going 2 different ways down this tunnel, or?
No, I think we should stick together. We know which way weird stuff started happening before.
Okay. And Jason moves and sort of slides down and jumps onto the rails.
Fran will follow, but she'll take Dewey's hand.
What does Meg do?
I think Meg... I think if Jason takes her hand, she'll take it, but she's not focused on anybody who's here in the present.
I think he sort of offers it, but if you're not aware enough, he won't, like, force you to hold his hand, but he does stick very close to you.
Cool.
Right, okay then. And you sort of look down into this tunnel. You can see all the service lights are on. It's lit. It's not like really bright, but there's patches of light in them, and he still switches on his torch. Here we go. And he starts to walk, following the rails. And it's a very deja vu moment as the 4 of you walk down this same tunnel together again.
I wasn't actually saying anything.
Okay. Okay. You walk for quite a bit, and you just hear that crunch of stone beneath your feet again. And it gets hotter and hotter the more you walk down here. Just again, stuffier. And you notice the further you walk, you see these missing posters again, sort of popping up on the wall. Could someone make a listen check for me, please? You can make a listen check.
Sausage.
While she's doing that, would I be able to look at the posters to see if we're on them?
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
even though I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Yeah, you can look at them. They sort of not out of arm's reach, but they're higher up. And the one thing I will say from that is you'd have to be pretty tall to put these up.
Like 10 feet tall?
Not 10 feet, you can reach it. Like, you can actually reach it.
But like grown adult tall.
Yeah, grown adult tall. And it's... You can see pictures of younger you. You can see that one of Jason at his adult age again. And Meg, you're almost overwhelmed. You don't hear anything. It's like you're focusing on the feelings around you. You're feeling like you're walking down the same path. It's getting, again, as I said, that almost deja vu-like experience. But Fran, you can hear Dewey, but a young Dewey. Going, look at this poster, as he rips it off the wall. And then you hear young Jason. Going, just put it down. Come on, we've got to find the others. And a dog barks.
Fran will look at the rest of the group and just be like, I hear us.
What do you mean?
From before, when we were here as kids, I hear it's exactly the same. I hear when we found those, I don't know. I hear you and Jason talking about stuff. You mentioned like the missing posters that we saw before. They're talking about the posters.
Yeah.
And it's like we've come back around. But that means Meg, your dad has to be down here somewhere. We gotta be getting close.
Is Meg even like hearing us at this point, or is she? Yeah, she's just.
Yeah, she's really glazed over. She's focused on finding a particular moment and just doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to see how. I'm good with
Totally
words.
tunnel vision.
Thank you. Yeah. Fran, Meg seems very focused on something. But,
I mean, I get it. When I'd be really focused on finding my dad too, if I could.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I'm like, hell. So you said I could reach one of the posters, right?
Yeah, oh, you can definitely reach.
Rip it down and be like, I just want to rip one of the ones that's like of one of us. And kind of just be like, yeah, these are those same ones we saw before.
Looking at the posters now, do we recognize any of the other people that we've met that have been thrown kind of out? Do we recognize the professor or
you can see
Meg's
George.
dad's friend?
Yeah, you see Meg's dad's friend George. There's a lot of missing posters with him. You can see some others. They seem to be in soldier uniform. You haven't necessarily met them yourself, but you can recognize some of them. Other than that, they're mostly all of you with George and things like that sort of thrown in.
So the professor, whose name I definitely remember, we don't see him though, do we?
You don't see him. No, you don't see
Okay.
him.
Do we see any of a little boy that wasn't any of us? The woman's little boy?
Roll a spot hidden check, please. You don't see anything else. It's almost overwhelming. You see, the deeper you get into this tunnel, it's almost becoming like a blanket of these wanted posters. And there's a moment, Dewey, as you're walking, your foot kicks something.
I'm not looking down. You can't make me.
And it's more that you don't look down, you look straight ahead, is what you don't want to look down. And it's more that you get the pang of the remembering of what it is.
Okay.
It's almost like you've done it before as a kid.
I'll be like, Fran, I kicked something. Can you look at it?
Fran's like, no.
Yeah, she's out of there.
Fran is out.
Sorry, Zoom booted me.
Dewey asked if you could look at what he's just kicked.
Oh, I missed that he kicked anything.
Oh, yeah, I kicked something and got, flashbacks. And I'm not looking down because Alice can't make me look down.
I will look.
You see that music box again. Not open this time. but it's just
I'ma
there.
kick it
like,
too.
Do you like kicking it far?
I'm gonna kick it to try and like break it.
Roll a brawn for me, please.
Does this mean that everybody in our everybody that's here has officially kicked the music box?
It will be, yes. Apart from Jane. I don't think Jane's.
Yay! We'll get her to kick it next week.
Yeah. Next week.
No.
You try to stamp
Your
on
toe.
this, and it doesn't seem to break. It doesn't seem to do anything. But are you like kicking it
no.
away and hoping it breaks at the same time, or I think we've lost Kelly. I can hear Kelly sighing.
Kelly, come back.
There we go. There we go.
I do that all the time.
It's alright. It's happened to me
It's
a lot
just Zoom. Everything else is fine.
lately. So, are you kicking this away, like to get it away because it's not breaking, or are you just like?
I think when it doesn't break, I'll kick it just to like get it like to the side to like get it out of the way, like get it out of the way of where we're walking, basically.
Okay, you sort of kick it off to the side so it's off of the tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's all like all these spotlights and it's quite dark, you see almost like the darkness starts to swallow it up, more like it's thrown into a shadow, and somewhere echoes. You hear a foot kicking a box, and young Dewey. Fran, what's this? And
Does anybody
June-
else hear it or just me?
Everyone hears it.
I choose not to hear it, thank you.
Selective hearing. We talked about this.
You heard that right?
Yeah, I did.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm going to actually like I'm gonna be like, Fran, you should get closer to Meg, and I'm actually gonna put my like hand on like Meg's shoulder. Unless she like unless she does something to tell me not
SWAT at you.
to.
Yeah, she
no.
just kind of blinks a couple times.
Yeah. But I'm gonna leave her in her zone, but just to have somebody. We're making a chain here.
I have rope. Fran's gonna be like, well, we found us, but we haven't found any of them yet. I don't think we were all together. This is when we found that weird house, Dewey, with the seance happening.
Does this mean we have to do a seance?
What if we did the seance?
Oh my god.
I think Fran is gonna lead them all deeper into it because she knows that they have to figure out where Meg and them went, and as kids, but they seem to be stuck wherever Dewey and Fran were.
You start to walk. Your torches are sort of flashing. You can see the service lights are going out now, because not turning off, they just don't have them down here because it's so deep in the tunnel. But your torches are still working perfectly, and you can flash them down the side at the other end of the tunnel. And Jason brings his light up, and Fran, you bring yours across as well. And as you sort of flash it down the end, Jason is stood next to you, and there are 6 dark figures stood further down the end of this tunnel.
Are they all similarly sized adult figures, or
They
are
are
they
all-
small figures?
They're all similarly sized. They all look to be maybe 6 foot tall. They are all sort of have cloaks up so that you can't see their faces. And they all have their backs to you. This isn't like they're looking at you. They have their backs to you.
Can we tell anything else about these cloaks that they're wearing?
They're black. Otherwise, they look really pretty plain. Like, they don't look like... They don't have, like... We are the Illuminati on the back or anything like that.
Well, I was thinking, like, are they actually cloaks? Are they, like, just hoods on coats? Are they, you know...
These seem to be actual cloaks. Like, they... Again, they don't look like old-fashioned. They almost... It's just plain material with a heavy hood.
Are they saying anything, or they're just facing away from us?
They're just facing away from you, dead silent. And they're far away. It's not like they're encroaching. They just seem to be there.
Fran is gonna take, like, I think I said that she grabbed, like, a thing of nails or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna take one of them and, like, throw it down the tracks to make some noise and see if any of them look.
You take one of these sort of, like, iron nails and you throw it, and it does hit both the stones and the rail on the way down. You hear that clang as it sort of hits on the way down, and it echoes. Nothing seems to happen, but a dog barks somewhere. And
Fran's gonna follow.
And again. And it's Rex. Somewhere is just barking.
I'm gonna start moving toward the sound.
I mean, my hand's still on her, so we're going. Okay. Or at least I'm going.
Jason catches up to you, Meg, and starts to head down towards the sound with you.
And I think Fran...
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, Fran will ask Meg, like, when you lost your dad, was Rex with you? Did you find Rex?
We did, yeah.
That seems as good as a point of compass as any, then.
You walk towards the sound of Rex barking, and it's like it's echoing. Like when he did all those years ago when it was like he was barking at nothing in the tunnel. And there's a moment where Jason steadies and slows down purely because you're approaching these hooded figures. And they actually part for you to walk past. They step aside. And Jason very warily, that's when he does grab your hand, Meg, as he sort of, it's more like your hand and wrist, like, it's got quite a big hand. He's sort of casting the torch, keeping it low in front. And you see him sort of running it around the ground near their feet. And you see those bluish grey bare feet under each of these cloaks, and he quickly snaps it back forward. Is it just keep moving? Everyone, just keep moving.
As they move through these people, Fran is keeping an eye out for anybody twitching, or if they move at all.
Could you roll a spot hidden check for me, please?
Advantage.
Okay.
Good use of advantage. Hard success.
Okay. Their feet don't seem to be moving. They don't seem to be looking like they're motioning to walk anywhere. But I will say you can see their hands, and they're just like the fingers are fluttering. And you see long red nails on every single one. And it's almost like they're disjointing, not like they're breaking or anything, but it's almost like they can't keep still and they keep moving the hands, but the rest of them stay completely still. It's the 60s. There's got to be some jazz like Kings left.
Okay, and I think Fran is just keeping an eye to make sure they don't like nobody's gonna like boo as they walk past.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did you say they all had the nails, or... Okay.
All of them had the nails. And Jason sort of looks to all of you as you pass them. I don't know what that was. I don't want to find out. So I'm going to keep moving, and I'm going to move fast. And he sort of picks up the pace a little bit.
I think Fran just responds with, like, I kind of thought about trying to get a better look, but I'm really tired of the running.
And he half smiles.
As we, like, once we're past them, can I look back? But, like, I want to be, like, in close enough, like, once Fran is past them and is out of reach, but not when we're too far.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking back for? Like, is there anything specific you're looking back?
I want to see if they're still all there and if I can see any, like, facial features.
As everyone walks past, you can stop and look back. And when you look back, they're in a different position. They're sat around a table, very much like you saw when you were younger. You saw it from the other side. Hoods drop down. Men, women around this table. None of them have any mouths, apart from one at the center. That seems to be... The lips are moving, but there's no voice coming out of it. And I will say, they, as much as the others don't have mouths, this one doesn't have eyes. I can't take it seriously when you're getting aggressive at me with an owl in your hand. Okay.
I'm just gonna be like, Fran, look back. It's like what we saw when we were younger. Can I see if I can try to see what the person with the mouth is saying?
Yes, I will say you can. Do another spot hidden because there's no actually words coming out, but I'll do it as like a read lips thing.
Yeah. I will use an advantage, please.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm so successful.
You can hear that sort of, well, I say you hear, you read the lips and it takes you a while. You actually have to stop and look. And the words you're picking up, not full sentences, but definitely short snippets of it is, are you there? Show us a sign. Can you hear me?
I will keep walking. I am not going to say anything, and I'm gonna walk, and nope.
Okay. You can hear Rex barking.
These are not the disembodied people that you're looking for.
And you can hear Rex barking somewhere, echoing in the distance. And again, it's almost like when you look down a very linear tunnel for too long, it's like you're not sure if it's getting closer, if it's getting further away, because it sort of bends and distorts. And there's a moment where Fran and Dewey are looking back at this sort of seance like table that's going on and turn to catch up. But Meg, at the end of this tunnel, you see your father. in uniform. He has like this lantern, the one he used to take up on the roofs, lit in one hand, and he's way down the tunnel. This isn't like a close thing, and he's moving around, sort of as if he's not running, he's not walking, he's just taking careful steps here and there.
She runs toward him. She bolts.
You start sprinting. Jason sort of like, wait, and he runs after you, but you've already taken off a decent sort of sprint. What about Dewey and Fran?
I'm running.
I'm gonna try and keep up with them because I don't want us to get separated again.
You can fully keep
holding your
up
hand.
with Jason, if not pass him, because he has all the stuff on his back. He's got a massive rucksack on his back. And you run. Meg, you get closer and closer to your father. He doesn't seem to be able to see you, but he is looking, he casts this light around. And as he does, you get probably about within 60 feet of him, and he looks at you, and you feel like he can see you. And you see his face cast in this light for the first time in a long time. And it looks tired. It looks a little bit scratched, not like beaten or anything. You can see what looks like dry blood on his forehead, almost like he did that day. He's in his soldier uniform. It looks sort of, there's bits of it torn off. Even that bit that has his badge, the bit that George gave you, you can see where it's gone. And he looks at you wide-eyed, and as he's about to say something, the light goes out. And you hear air raid sirens. That eerie sort of alarm, those sirens that starts to go off. You feel the ground start to shake. In the distance, you hear a whistle overhead. You hear the bombs starting to drop. And Fran and Dewey, you're running. You can hear Jason sort of running behind you, sort of as the clank of everything goes. What do you do as you see Meg stop and her torchlight goes out? And you can't see her ahead. You hear Jason yelling after her. What does Dewey and Fran do?
I'm still like I would keep running in that direction, just like Meg, are you there?
Well, and I'm gonna try and use my torch to figure out if I can see them and at least keep an eye on Jason, because I think my priority is to try and keep everybody together. So if Jason's moving slower than us, I want to make sure that we're staying with Jason because I don't want him left behind by himself.
Okay, you can definitely, your torch seems to still be working, and you can flash the light up towards Meg. And you can see Meg stood there with the back to you. And there seems to be someone else. It's out of your eye line, but there's someone stood further down the tunnel. And those air raid sirens start to go off again, louder and louder. And somewhere, you hear Jane scream. Not the child, the adult. And I think that's where we will leave it this week so that we can make sure we have Fake Eye back with us for the finale. Awesome. Great. Everyone, I know it's a bit of a shorter episode than last time, but as I said, we want to make sure we have Fake Eye in for the finale. Otherwise, please check out all the links coming up in chat now. That includes the Discord, where you can see a channel just for this. Also, YouTube, if you've missed out on anything, you can head over there and catch up as well. And also Twitter. If you want to get in a game, drop Scrat a DM on Twitter and we will put you on the list and get you in one. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge. As I said, they are over 5,000% funded now. It's incredible. They're over 2 million in. you name it. They've got the amazing minis, which I'm apparently going to be doing stuff for now. Also, Mage Hand Press. If you like space and you like D&D, you smush them together and it's a wonderful thing. It's when you get Dark Matter. They've just released hard copies of that. And also the Deck of Many. With the Deck of Many Things and the moving magic spell cards, this is my favorite, I believe. Otherwise, until next week, keep evoking emotions and we'll see you for finale week. Bye!